$3,938 a month. That's what the VA pays a veteran at a 100% rating this year, and dementia can climb all the way to it. But here's the part almost no family is told. There's a second check that sits right on top of that one, and most of them never file for it. There are 3 ways a diagnosis like dementia or Alzheimer's gets connected to your service, and 2 of them are the doors veterans walk straight past. Get one of those doors right, and a claim you assumed was hopeless can turn into the largest monthly benefit the VA pays.
This is Erica. Take the one word doing all the quiet work here: deficit. The VA does not pay you for the label on the chart. It pays for the function the disease has taken away, measured today. It rates the deficit, not the diagnosis.
Chris here, and that flips the money completely. A mild memory slip and a mind that can't hold a job are the same disease, and wildly different checks.
I'm Nova. Think of it like erosion, not a light switch. The VA grades how much ground the water has already taken, never the day the rain started. So the 2 missed doors both ask the same thing. What is the water, and where did it come from?
And that second question is the whole game. Erica, put the range on the table before anyone hears the word dementia and thinks jackpot.
Run it honestly. At the mild end, an early decline might rate 30%, about $550 a month for a veteran alone. In the middle, 70%, roughly $1,800. And total impairment, the 100% Lewis opened with $3,938. Same disease, different worlds.
And that 100% isn't the ceiling. When the veteran needs daily help to eat, dress, or stay safe, a second benefit lifts it toward $4,900 a month. That's the one families miss.
This isn't some new experiment either. The mental disorder schedule has rated a failing mind for decades. Nothing unprecedented about it. Alzheimer's, vascular dementia, even the old term acute brain syndrome, all sit on the same rule book.
One catch worth saying up front, though: it isn't the word that pays. A diagnosis alone, with the mind still fully intact, sits at 0. What pays is the ground the disease has taken.
Before I hand this to the panel, one question shows up under every video we make on this, and it's the one worth steering by. Nova flagged it. Nova, read it for us.
Yeah, the one everyone asks is this: my spouse's dementia started years after service, so is it even connectable to the VA? And the honest answer is often yes, through a door most people never open.
That's exactly where we're headed. And everything we cover today, the full conditions list and a free tools page, lives at va.professorerica.com, so you can check your own claim after the show. Coming up, the 3 doors in, the ladder that sets the check, and the second payment almost no family claims. Three doors. Get the door wrong and a good claim gets denied, so let's walk each one. Erica, open the one veterans forget exists.
Look at the blast injury first. Route 1 is dementia secondary to a service-connected traumatic brain injury. A TBI is a hit to the head hard enough to change how the brain works. Combat blasts, a vehicle rollover, a bad fall in training. Years later, the thinking and memory slide, and that decline can be tied back to the original injury.
Careful with that one, though. It's the highest value door and the most missed. Combat vets get told the TBI healed. The dementia years later is treated as unrelated. It often isn't.
Route 2 rhymes with it. Think of the brain as downstream of the blood. A service-connected stroke, long-standing service-connected high blood pressure, or diabetes can starve the brain of steady flow, and that's how vascular dementia takes hold.
Which code, though? Alzheimer's and vascular aren't the same drawer.
Right, they're not. Alzheimer's type dementia files under diagnostic code 9312. Vascular dementia is 9305. A dementia of unknown cause is 9310. Different drawers, one shared rulebook.
And the regulation that opens both secondary doors is one line. Erica, give them the mechanism, not the vibe.
It's 38 CFR 3.310. The VA's own words. A disability that is, quote, proximately due to or the result of a service-connected disease or injury shall be service-connected. So a rated TBI that leads to dementia pulls the dementia in with it. So does a rated stroke.
And door 3 is the plain one, direct. The decline is documented in service itself. Rare for dementia, but it's on the list.
So the two secondary routes carry the weight. That's where the missed money lives. A veteran who only files the direct door and can't show it walks away with nothing when the secondary link was sitting there the whole time.
Here's the sharp version a viewer pushed on us, and it's a fair one. Chris, take it.
The sharp question: if every route needs a diagnosis and a proven link, is one route actually easier to win than the others?
Usually the secondary route, honestly, when the first condition is already rated. Half the proof is done. The VA already agreed the TBI or the stroke is service-connected. Now a doctor just has to connect it to the dementia. Same finish line, shorter distance.
3 doors, 1 rule. You're paid for the deficit, and you have to link it. Next, how the VA turns that deficit into a percentage. One thing before the next part, and then we move right on. If any of this is clicking, tap that like, hit subscribe, and ring the bell for the next one. It takes a second, it costs nothing, and it helps more than you would think.
Careful, because this is where the money gets set. The VA puts a failing mind on one ladder, 0 to 100%. Erica, walk them up it.
Take the ladder itself. 38 CFR 4.130, the general rating formula for mental disorders. Every dementia code climbs the same 6 rungs: 0, 10, 30, 50, 70, and 100%. The rung is set by impairment, not by what stage a scan happens to call the disease.
So the middle rung. What does 70 actually look like on a real day?
70% is the VA's phrase deficiencies in most areas: work, family relations, judgment, thinking, mood. Not every area, but most of them slipping at once. For a lot of dementia families, that's where the rating settles for a long, hard stretch.
And the top rung is the one nobody in a family ever forgets. Nova, read the VA's own words, because they don't soften it.
100% is total occupational and social impairment. The schedule lists the symptoms out loud: disorientation to time or place, memory loss for the names of close relatives, for your own occupation, and, in the VA's own words, your own name.
Your own name, on paper. That's the rung.
Your own name, right there in the schedule. And here's the fork that decides the money. When the dementia traces to a service-connected TBI, a second ruler comes in. 4.124A, diagnostic code 80045, the TBI residuals code, with its own cognitive table that runs to 100.
And the guardrail is written plain. You never count the same symptom twice. If the TBI left a diagnosable dementia, rate it on the mental ladder. Use whichever ruler measures the impairment best, 4.130 or 80045, but never both for the same lost memory.
6 rungs, and a second ruler when a TBI is in the story. But a rung is just an empty slot until money fills it. So that's next, in real 2026 dollars. A rung pays nothing, a percentage does. So let's turn this into a real paycheck in this year's numbers. And walk me through it like I've never seen a rating decision, because most families haven't.
Meet Walter, 68, Army, already service-connected for a blast TBI from a deployment. Years on, the memory goes, and it's diagnosed as dementia. Route 1, secondary to that rated TBI. The link is half-built the day he files.
So what's the gap? Watch it, because it's bigger than people brace for. Start at 70% deficiencies in most areas. For a veteran alone in 2026, that's $1,808.45 a month.
Now climb to the top rung. As the dementia takes the whole day, total impairment, 100%. That's $3,938.58 a month.
So one claim, 70 to 100, moves the check by $2,130.13 every month.
And here's where families stop reading. They see the 100% and assume that's the ceiling. It isn't.
Right. When the dementia means Walter needs daily help to eat, dress, or just stay safe in his own home, that's aid in attendance. It replaces the 100% rate with a higher one.
Give them the number, because this is the door families miss.
The special monthly compensation rate for regular aid and attendance, a veteran alone in 2026, is $4,900.83 a month, nearly $1,000 more than the 100% rate for the family that needs daily care.
And it doesn't stop at the veteran. Take the caregiver. A veteran rated 70% or higher who needs in-person care for at least 6 months can put a family member into the Program of Comprehensive Assistance for Family Caregivers. That's a monthly stipend to the caregiver, health coverage, and paid respite.
Which matters, because the person filing is usually exhausted. A spouse doing the caregiving all day, filing the claim all night. That program pays them back a little.
So the honest mechanism is this. Walter didn't earn more for suffering in the abstract. He earned it because the deficit measured worse, and because the family needed real help. Now the money question every caregiver actually types. Chris pulled the blunt one.
The blunt one. My spouse is already 100%, so is aid in attendance really worth another round of paperwork? And my answer, $960 more a month is over $11,000 a year. For a family already paying for care, that's worth the afternoon.
Worth it isn't always a yes, and we'll debate that head-on at the end. But every rung runs through one appointment first, and we called someone who knows that process cold.
Every dollar we just walked runs through one appointment. The compensation and pension exam. Get it wrong, and a real decline reads on paper as nothing.
And there's one piece people fumble more than any other. Erica, name it.
The nexus. It's the doctor's note that links the dementia to the service-connected TBI or to the rated disease that caused it. Without that one link, even a genuine decline can stall.
And the bar for that link is gentler than most families fear. Think of it as tipping a scale to even, not proving it past all doubt. The VA's words are, at least as likely as not. 50-50 is enough.
That's the whole ball game. So let's get someone who runs this cold on the line.
Glad to jump in. And you named the hinge already, the nexus. On a dementia claim, I'd want 3 things in the file. The diagnosis of the dementia, the service-connected condition that's already rated, the TBI or the stroke, and 1 clean sentence from a clinician saying the 2 are at least as likely as not connected. Where does it all go? VA Form 21-526EZ, the application for disability compensation. You name the condition, the dementia, and because it's secondary, you name the service-connected TBI or disease that caused it right there on the same form.
Wait, back pay. How far back does it reach?
Generally the day the VA receives the claim. The regulation 38 CFR 3.400 says the date of the claim or the date entitlement arose, whichever is later. So file the day you're ready, not the day it feels perfect. The clock starts when you file.
And one worry I hear constantly. The veteran can't manage forms anymore. Can the spouse file?
Yes, and this is where I'd start. A caregiver or an accredited representative can file for the veteran. Get the diagnosis on record first, then read the veteran's own file. If a clinician already wrote reduced memory or reduced function, half your nexus is already sitting there. Don't guess at it, go find it. That's the one thing I'd leave you with. Read the record before you file because the answer is usually already in it. Good luck to every family working through this. Thanks for having me on.
That's the part nobody hands you in a pamphlet. Appreciate you jumping on. Erica, Chris, Nova, let's take it home. Here's the fork we owe you. Erica says when a service-connected TBI or disease is on the record, you file the secondary dementia claim and the aid and attendance every time. Chris says the caregiver's time and strength is a resource too, and a borderline claim can drain a family that's already stretched thin. Both of you, make it real.
File it. If a rated TBI is already in the record and a doctor will link the dementia, that's a claim half won for a benefit that can move the check by $2,000 a month plus aid and attendance on top. Leaving that unfiled is leaving a caregiver's rent on the table.
Slow down. $2,000 a month, sure, if it lands. But a borderline dementia claim still means an exam, records requests, maybe a nexus letter the family pays for. And the person doing all that is running on no sleep, caring for someone all day.
Chris, put a line on borderline. Where is it?
No rated cause on the record, and no clinician yet willing to write the link. That's the coin flip zone. Above it, the evidence carries itself. Below it, you're spending a tired family's month on a maybe.
But a coin flip still pays when it lands. 50-50, not certainty.
True. I'm not saying don't file. I'm saying line up the nexus before you start the clock, not after. Get the doctor's sentence first, then file.
That's a real point from both of you. Erica, does the caregiver's exhaustion change your always?
It sharpens it. Where the rated cause is already on the record, file always. Where there's no link yet, get the doctor's opinion first, then file. I'll give Chris that. It isn't free, and the person filing is the one holding the whole house up.
And I'll give Erica this. If the TBI or the stroke is already rated, the link's half built. That one I'd file every single time, and I'd file the aid in attendance the same day.
So here's the panel's verdict, and the VA backs the standard in writing. Our recommendation: when a service-connected TBI or disease is already on the record, file the secondary dementia claim and file aid and attendance the moment daily care is needed. When there's no link yet, get the nexus sentence first, so your 50-50 is really a 50-50. And whoever's holding the house up, use the caregiver program, because it was built for exactly this. Find the link, file where the deficit is real, and let the clean cases go. That's the honest verdict. Here's the whole map in a line. Dementia is rated for the deficit it leaves, not the diagnosis. 3 routes in, and the 2 secondary ones are the doors families miss. 1 ladder from 0 to 100, and a second check on top for the families who need daily care.
The piece I'd hold on to is 38 CFR 3.310, proximately due to a rated TBI or stroke can pull the dementia in with it, and half the proof is already done.
The number that stuck with me. 70 to 100 moves the check by over $2,000 a month, and aid and attendance carries it toward $4,900. Underfiling is expensive.
Mine's the standard, at least as likely as not. 50-50 is enough, a far lower bar than most caregivers walk in expecting.
So here's your move tonight. Pull up the veteran's own records and hunt for one thing: a rated TBI, a rated stroke, or a doctor's note about reduced memory. If it's already there, half the claim is built. Hit subscribe because this series climbs the whole VA system one benefit at a time, and a like shows it to the next family who needs it. Next time we stay on the conditions list, and here's the hook. There's one situation where a caregiver can be paid even before the veteran's rating is finalized. Wait until you see how that works. And before you go, one for the comments. If you're a caregiver, did the VA connect the dementia to service for you, or did you have to fight for that link yourself? History rhymes. Listen for the rhyme.
Lewis crushed it today. 9 out of 10, only because I am a tough grader. This is Professor Erica. Thanks for watching and signing off.